Hello and welcome back to a new episode of the Japanese SDF Uniforms and Unique Airsoft. Before we begin this video, I want to thank the people on Twitter that have provided me with many information about the Type 89. Also a little bit about personal information, what the Type 89 can do. So in this episode we will go over only about the history about the assault weapon, what are disadvantages, weakness and advantages itself. Because the Type 89 deserves more credit on the field of battlefield. And also not many people know about the Type 89 because Japan is only using it itself. So please follow me on my social media and descriptions sections down below. Also please follow me on my YouTube channel. I really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button and also that bell notification button, like this video. And when you subscribe to this channel, I know that you are interested in this channel and what I'm doing. More people subscribe to this channel, to more have the motivation to make better videos. And if something has to be upgraded or something new to adjust, please let me know in the comment sections down below. So without further ado, let's start. The new assault weapon must use the standard NATO caliber 5.56. And at the same time, they were not looking at the Colt design from the Americans, from the M16 adoption. They were looking at another design, a much older, but it was more something in some ways more reliable and more future-like. Designed by Eugene Stoner from Armalite company back in the day. In the early 60s, they had tried to sell it to the American government and the army, but they were not really interested. So they tried to sell it to abroad. Only a few countries in the world were interested in the design. But Japan were looking at the design itself. But they were not saying, no, we will not buy it directly. Around in the mid 80s, Japan was looking to the AR-18 for to new design. The short-stroke gas piston was a really interesting system for them. So they bought a few models from it. They give it to the soldiers in different environments, tested it. The field reports when that came back were mixed, but it had great potential for the armed forces. So Japan decided to buy the gas system itself from Armalite, and they designed their own weapon. Looked also to foreign designs, and eventually around 1989 they showed a new assault weapon that was called the Type 89. The Type 89 will see combat in the Iraq war in the early 2003. Japan was not allowed to moving aggressive against an enemy, but only for logistical help for the people there. So most of the time they will have cooperation with the Dutch army, but there was many restraints still on them, and many frustrated that they are not allowed to open fire against an enemy when they are firing back. But they has also their equipment they have with them. The uniforms were more for woodland environment, not desert. But before the Japanese Self-Defense Force unit, they testing their Type 89 in desert environment. There were a few issues with it, but has still reliabilities the same as with the M16. It did perform greatly during the operation. Of course there were some malfunctions, but of course every assault weapon as designed by a major power of another country has issues, of course. So around 2015, Japan is still using the Type 89. Even other countries around the world, like the United States, is using the M4 carbine, also using with rail system, mount scope, laser dot, hand grip underneath. And the Japanese didn't have that luxury. For several reasons, the Japanese government did not feel necessarily to equip their forces with a mount scope on the weapon. So during Operation Desert Storm, they bought their own variation of rail scope on their weapon. There were different designs, different mounting, but of course they all have problems. But slowly, the Japanese government equipped the standardization for their weapon. But of course, the Type 89 was still an old design. So the Japanese were looking around 2015 to a new assault weapon. It had to be shorter, it had to be a mount and a grenade launcher. It has to be also a very reliable system, and it has to be shorter than the Type 89 that they have right now. The Type 89 is the same length as the M16. So 5 years has passed, and in this year, on May 18, the Japanese Self-Defense Force announced a new assault weapon. It was called the Type 20. The bayonet is still the same variation as for the Type 89 assault weapon, but it has a grenade launcher mount, just a rail system on the assault weapon, and it was much more shorter Type 89. But it used a headlamp core from the G36. When I saw that design, I was really impressed. But unfortunately, because there is not much information about it, how the internals showed within the weapon itself, I cannot really show you what they have. But I will also go over a separate video about the Type 20 in the future. So the Type 89, of course, is a good assault weapon. It has amazing accuracy. And its reliability is also good. The same or even better than the M16. But also at the same time, it is even an old design, but Japan was looking back in the day for only self-defense for their homeland. For Japan itself and the islands that belong to them. But now the Chinese Republic itself is starting to be more aggressive against other countries in the region, and Japan has to be modernize their army assault weapon. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and please let me know in the comment sections down below what you think about it, and please let me also know what can I improve with this video. If I did something wrong, please let me know in the comment sections down below, and please hit the bell notification button and subscribe. Thank you very much, see you next time.